My name is Eric Osborne, and this is my business model canvas for my tree care company. Uh, this is my high-level business model canvas overview with my key partners, key activities, key resources, value proposition, customer relationships, customer segments, channels, revenue streams, and cost structure. All right, our value proposition. We bring knowledge, equipment, and safety. Most people don't have the experience and they don't have the equipment and they are afraid to do the work because it's extremely dangerous. And we remove that liability and hassle from them. Our minimum viable product is tree removal and pruning, and we need a truck, trailer, chainsaws, and personal protective equipment, rigging gear to do that. This is what I moved to primarily because it's the most profitable and the highest demand. And market size, we're based out of Sandy, Utah. We serve customers up to 45 minutes in either direction, preferably under a half hour to save uh, gas, time, wear and tear on the vehicles. Roughly based off our responses out of our entire potential customer pool, we're looking at having about 50,000 uh, customers we could serve. Our customer segments are residential homeowners and business owners, including property management companies, HOAs, land developers, um, real estate agents, those kinds of things. It removes, again, liability, and we're the specialists. Our early evangelists would definitely need to be friends and family, since we're just getting started and we're new to the game. Our customer relationships, our marketing would be done via Facebook, KSL, Instagram, our website, which we'd focus on search engine optimization. Um, we'd have marketing logos and signage on our trucks. Um, we'd have a referral program. So this is a big one as we interviewed people. Cash incentives for referring individuals who select our services. We'd use Amazon gift cards, and I'm not sure if the gift card would be $25 or $50, but probably somewhere in there. Um, and automated follow-up newsletter and email to prior/existing customers. The big thing with this is, you do a job, you trim some trees, you remove trees, and we don't have a lot of repeat business, especially from residential customers. We could go, 5 or 10 years without seeing the same customer. So the only way that we can keep, and grow is through some type of referral program, uh, good word of mouth, that kind of thing. Our distribution channels would be us cutting down, removing trees directly for individuals, um, us removing trees as a sub for another company, and then other tree care companies subbing for us. If we bid out on something, and especially if there was potentially stuff we couldn't do because we didn't have the equipment. And then as far as our digital presence, as I've mentioned, social media, our website, Angie's List, that kind of thing. Key partners, other tree care businesses. They'd have access to bucket trucks, chippers, skid loaders, dump trucks, that kind of stuff. That's extremely expensive, and that at least for the first couple of years, there's no way we could have that kind of thing. Risk there, they could potentially cannibalize their business. And then us cutting down and removing trees as subs for other tree care companies or even government. Um, and then, of course, key partners would be land developers, realtors, HOAs, property managers. Key resources, my house. I have room for a home office, my truck, trailer, tools, all that stuff. And then, having local places that I could purchase parts, and then plenty of online options. Truck and trailer are going to be up front, key resources, and then the funding to do so. And then train and capable employees. I plan on putting a standardized training program together. Safety is absolutely paramount in this business. Key activities: tree removal and disposal, pruning as well, uh, accounting, so getting paid, paying our bills, payroll. I got to make sure my guys are getting paid. Marketing, we've got to keep feeding the business. So we're constantly going to have to be finding new customers, and then obviously financing, so that we can bring on um, new equipment that's going to help us to be more efficient and help us to be able to bid jobs that we can't do in the early years. So I did a spreadsheet with all of our costs. Um, for the most part, everything is there, and those numbers look pretty ambitious. But as I was talking with other people that are in the business, it's actually pretty doable. The big thing is you've got to have your marketing dialed, um, and bringing on employees like that is stressful for me to look at. But I think it's really the right way to go about it. Revenue, it was based on 225 days a year of steady work, at $1,500 a day, which would, on a larger job, maybe that's, one job a day, but typically that would be, 2 to 3 smaller jobs a day. And then we could potentially work on the off season as well, but I can't bank on that. The way that we do our pricing, it's per bid. So I would go out and do an estimate. The target's $100 per man hour. Really, the minimum threshold is about 75 bucks an hour, per man hour, I should say. Um, and then targeting $150,000 gross profit annually. This is pretty much just a repeat of what I talked about. So as I was interviewing people, potential customers are price sensitive, but at the same time, they're way more concerned with reducing their own liability, um, to either themselves or their home. The last thing they want to do is cut down a tree, have it land on their home, and they'd be looking at $50,000 worth of repairs from a new roof, potentially structural damage, uh, cutting down a tree, landing on a neighbor's house, or heaven forbid, injuring themselves or someone else. Uh, so that's a big part of it. Customer referral program, as I mentioned before, ton of positive feedback. I think word of mouth in this type of industry, especially as a small business just starting out, is going to be huge. And then just making sure that we check all of the boxes. We're going to have a presence online. We're going to have a presence, and social media. I was on Facebook actually today, and I just saw, someone was looking for tree care, and that they just randomly posted on their page, and people were throwing out options. And so, if you don't have a website, if you don't have a Facebook page, if you don't have something like that, we're just not going to be able to pick up enough work to keep my guys busy. Business environment. So the four largest tree care competitors in the state of Utah: Save a Tree, Atlas, Diamond, and A Plus. They're big companies. They've got a ton of resources. They got a lot of manpower. They've got skid steers, cranes, dump trucks, loaders, high reach boom trucks, processing yards, and financing to fund all of this. We're not going to have any of that starting off. Um, Really, I think our biggest competition in a lot of ways is going to come from other small businesses, especially from landscapers that claim to be, tree care specialists, but they don't carry insurance. They cut corners. They pay under the table. They might not have the experience, or they might try to just underbid like crazy. Our SWOT analysis, strengths. Got a great work ethic. I'm honest. I think I'm a clear communicator. We do quality work and service. Relatively competitive pricing. I don't want that to be our key differentiator, because we've got to turn a profit. And then, potentially lower overhead than large competitors since I can run it out of my house. Weaknesses, new to the industry, we're totally an unproven quantity. So we need those early evangelists. Very limited funding options. Going to have a smaller crew with less equipment, and so we aren't going to be able to perform a lot of the big jobs without subbing out, which cuts into our profits. Opportunities, plenty of work in such a growing area, and also people are becoming wealthier, lazier, and more averse to risk and effort. Threats, economic downturn. If the economy tanks, tree care is going to be, for the most part, one of those businesses that's probably going to get hit hard. Other companies, take care of business, lack of, work. I don't want to have guys sitting around without work. Um, and then also, injury, damage, and lawsuits. Because, you make one major mistake and it's game over. Major pivots. So the largest pivot I made was moving to just doing tree removal and pruning as our MVP instead of having a ton of different services available that would kind of spread us thin. And a lot of the other services, while I still think that there's value down the road, um, it's more filler work than meat and potatoes. Second largest pivot was moving from an extremely lean model where I'd be doing a lot of the hands-on work and subbing out a lot to other companies, to going straight to a three-man crew where I would occasionally do some of the work myself, but I'd mostly be doing estimates, communication, coordination, and you know, finding ways to really keep the work rolling in. And that's my presentation. Thank you.